So we come now to really our usual open house, and the floor is yours. There's a lot of us, so if you come on, not speeches, but a few words, and we'll hopefully get round and hear from as many people as possible in this space.
I'm absolutely over the moon from today. It's been really, really brilliant, because I must say, when I met Charley all those years ago on Zoom and Biennial, I really felt that this was something Charley was born to do, and we're not remotely disappointed. It's been a great, great day. And of course, with you on board, Josh, together you made an absolute brilliant team, and it's all wonderful.
Thank you, Owen. Thanks so much. Philip from Northwest Surrey.
It is such a blessed relief that we now have in the public domain another Jewish voice. This will be an authentic voice in the public domain, expressing the values that we as progressive Jews hold together.
Thank you, Philip.
Anne Andrich here, Northwest Surrey Synagogue. And I echo Mazel Tov and delight from everybody. I have 3 wishes for our new movement. One, that it will inspire our children and our youth to carry forward our Jewish heritage when they see this incredible achievement. 2, that each liberal and reform synagogue community keeps its minhag and character, as each movement has its proud history and traditions. And 3, that as both Reform and Liberal Judaism are built on the bedrock of prophetic Judaism, that working together we can combat poverty, prejudice and injustice here and around the world.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, David, our Yorkshire correspondent, David Israel from Sinai and the Northern Network.
I just wanted to say on behalf of the Northern Network that we will be strong advocates for the new progressive movement. We've already been welcoming members of both the Reform and Liberal communities to our meetings, and I look forward to seeing how we can do more of this work together in the years to come.
Thank you, David. But I think one of the things that's been so moving is the way that so many of our communities and Northern Network have shown such leadership on this, have really taken this coming together to heart and have really inspired us. So thank you. Leslie.
Yeah, I wanted to say, first of all, congratulations to all concerned, particularly you two. It's been a phenomenal 2 years. It's been a pretty challenging 2 years as well. And I'm personally delighted that my synagogue supported this. I think that's great. And I just so look forward to working with everybody, certainly in the next 6 months, to make this the most successful Jewish organizational merger in history.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leslie.
So I'm going to go in a minute, because as we've been doing this, we are really both of us, I think, kind of children of progressive Judaism, children of the Reform movement and of the liberal movement. So when Hilary puts up a note, who I've known or has known me since I was a kind of babe in arms, saying congratulations for this, it's particularly significant and powerful. So thank you to Hilary for that message. But let's go to Alex in Wessex in Bournemouth.
Oh, yes. Hi. Congratulations. I'm so happy. We were on the beach doing our Shavuot walk, the combined liberal Judaism and reform. And when the news came through, I actually told everyone to just stop a minute. And I said, listen, guys, we've done it. And they all sort of looked, and I said, that's it, we've done it. And all of a sudden we all just cheered, and people were sort of looking at us. And yes, we're all so grateful and really, really happy. And thank you so much for all of this stuff, what you've done. You've gone above and beyond. And I know you've got families, and I'm a mum myself, so I know how hard it is to juggle all of that stuff. And what you've done is just amazing. Thank you so much.
And let's go to Dee and to Colin, Rabbi Colin Eimer.
I think one of the things that's been really important for us as we've done this is to acknowledge that we are standing on the shoulders of those who have led in this before, and to acknowledge that on this screen, but also in our clergy bodies, are those for whom this is also a fulfillment of something that they've worked towards and wanted to happen. So one of the very first people I spoke about this with back in 2023 was actually around the table in the flat that Colin and Dee have there, because I went around there for dinner to speak about
He's
it.
both of our teacher.
So over to Dee.
It's Colin speaking. This is just so exciting. I mean, I keep back rabbiting on about having been involved with the attempt 40 years ago. So it's just wonderful that it's happening now. And my only regret is I'm in the twilight of my life and my career and can't be more involved. But it's really an enormous thank you and mazel tov, especially to you, Josh and Charley, but to the whole team that brought us about, and to all of us who had the vision and I think the seichel and the common sense to actually vote it in and be enthusiastic about it. So it's really very exciting. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Colin, and thank you for your leadership and your teaching and support and guidance through this as well, which has been hugely important for us.
We'll go to Larry Peters.
I echo everyone's sentiments, but I'm exceedingly emotional. I, like Colin, was on that committee in the 80s, and there were a few of us that were so disappointed at the outcome when we knew that people should have put their own personal interests aside and thought of it as a whole. You two and the movement, both movements have done that now, and congratulations to both of you. Like Colin, we've been vindicated by your actions. We know it will work, and I knew it because I was a co-founder with Rabbi Henry Goldstein of the Eastern Counties Association of Progressive Synagogue, and we did a great deal to show the movements that it could be done. It's forward. It's so exciting. I'm so excited. I will not live long enough. I'm in my 85th year now. But to think that I lived to see this happen has filled me so much with emotion. Good luck to you all. My blessings upon you all. It's wonderful.
Thank you, Larry. Really. This wasn't meant to be a love-in, but we are enjoying it very much. So
I've never cried in front of this many people before.
Oh, I have. Thank you, Larry. Let's turn to Peter Brill.
Firstly, mazel tov to everybody. It's interesting, Rabbi Henry Goldstein's name's just been brought up. I grew up Reform with Rabbi Henry Goldstein as my rabbi, and then eventually moved to Bristol, where I became part of the liberal Jewish congregation. So I've had a foot in both camps, if you like. And I was sat next to our chair today, who I know was also on this call, whose journey to this has been very, very different from mine. We all got very focused on the legalities and the process and getting this done. And it wasn't until we sat there watching the screen this morning and listening to all of the communities saying, yes, we want this, that we realized just how historic it was. And it was incredibly emotional. And I think it really hit home as to how important this is for both organizations, now one movement. So mazel tov on that. And the other thing I want to say is that much of this happens because of communication. Communication has been critical. And I know there's been a lot of people behind this, but one person, Simon Rothstein,
Very true.
Deserves a huge amount of credit for the quality of communication that there's been throughout all of this. And it's made it so relatively easy for us to be able to communicate this to others, and we can now with confidence go out to media and other channels and share that voice. So mazel tov to you, Rabbis Josh and Charley, and mazel tov also, Simon, to you.
Peter, thank you. Next on our screen is someone who is on a bike and wearing a cycle helmet, but is also one of the most respected rabbis of his generation. So there you go, Mark.
Oh my goodness me. Right, well, that was very strong. Thank you very much indeed. I'm standing outside a bagel bakery in Daheim, in Temple Fortune, and I wanted to go and get a rainbow bagel. But unfortunately, they don't have any. Maybe they will do in the future, because last week there was a puff of white smoke to announce a major change in a major world religion. I only wish we could have had a puff of rainbow smoke coming out of the Sternberg Center, because what you have achieved, all of you, the whole team on the path to progressive Judaism, is enabling us to have a fantastic diversity of what progressive Judaism will be. I am so excited about strength that's going to come to us out of our diversity, the different shuls, our different minhagim, and between us all, though, the values that mean that a large part of the Jewish community is going to have a way stronger voice and a way stronger way to make a difference in the British Jewish community. Mazel tov, and thank you very, very much to Josh, Charley, and all the team that you have led.
Thank you, Mark, so much for your support and your leadership and always being on the other end of the phone as well, which is invaluable. I want to say thank you, Simon. 100% echo everything that's been said about you, but we've got other members of our team on the screen, and Josh and I often get to be front facing, and we only get to do that because we've got such an incredible team behind us, and they deserve so much love and credit, and just have been really, really wonderful. And I can see Rochelle and Becca online, and just want to say thank you so much, and to any others that I've missed, because really we are here because of that kind of foundational support we've had from our staff teams, which have been amazing.
Great. And of course, the partnership that we have with our lay leaders as well. So to acknowledge our boards, many of whom are here, particularly the chairs who have worked so closely with us. And we also do want to acknowledge that whilst Paul and Karen have been the people who have sort of accompanied us through this, they've also, when we first started this conversation, there was also Michael Harris, who's on the screen, who was one of the people who was brave enough to take this leap at the very beginning, and also Ruth as well in Liberal Judaism, who's willing to take the leap. We know that Jewish life only flourishes because of lay people who are willing to put themselves forward to help Jewish communal life to thrive and to put their effort and their energies into it, which is a nice segue into, I think, one of the newest chairs of a community, who's Andrea in Edinburgh, who is another generation of people stepping forward to lead Jewish communal life.
Hi, yes, thank you so much. I just wanted to say muchas gracias, which is thank you so much for all your work that you've put into this. I mean, I came to the UK 2 years ago, and that was when I was introduced to the concept of what this new movement would be. And I feel like it's a full circle moment. I think the only thing I wanted to say is just put an ask out there for you two, for Charley and Josh. Could there be any emerging leaders in the reform side or not progressive side? Because I think it would be very interesting to see that new generation come up. And I want to meet the new generation too. So yeah, thank you so much again.
Thank you. Well, Andrea refers to as a program, and there are similar programs across both movements, but for emerging leaders, which is how Andrea ended up in leadership position, and so how much we cherish those programs and the things we learn from each other as well across both movements. Talking of learning from, let's go to Rabbi Robin, who has been a real partner in the last 2 years.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something because this is such a great day. So thank you to you all. And I've been thinking, particularly this last week, of the meeting we had, the first conference of liberal rabbis and cantors and assembly of reform rabbis and cantors came together for one of our first meetings when this idea came up, and the excitement in the room and the power of having so many clergy in one space together sharing what they're excited about really, for me, tapped into that embodied feeling of what this could feel like to be with so many colleagues and the excitement. So for that now to be a reality and to be known that we're moving forward and get to work on it together in the rigorous way that we have been is just really exciting. So yeah, Mazal Tov everyone, as they say at a joint simcha.
Thank you, Robin. And yeah, I mean, I think a real acknowledgement that this is just a moment on a journey and a process that we have lots of work to do on. And it's not work that we will be doing or can do on our own. So we are really invested that everyone on the screen, and committed that everyone on this screen is part of this wonderful opportunity we now share, which is to intentionally and purposefully create a new movement. It's very rare that anyone gets the opportunity to do this, and we together do have that opportunity. So this will carry on being a conversation over the course of the next months as we create this new entity. And definitely in that conversation will be Chair of Liberal Judaism, Karen Newman.
Thank you very much, Josh. Everybody from LJ has had enough from me this morning, so I don't really want to say too much, other than to say that although we stand on the shoulders of our giants who went before, we're doing this for the future. It really is the people for whom we build our houses. And I just wanted to say how wonderful it was to have a brief shot of Lev, along with Rabbi Deborah and Rabbi Igor earlier on. And we also had young Jonah with us when Anna was first on the screen before, which was marvelous. And I think that as we celebrate this moment, we also have to bear in mind the people for whom we build our houses. And it's lovely to see a few of them today. Thank you.
Thanks, Karen.
I've just noticed that more of our staff have joined us online, and a particularly big shout out to Sarita, who many of you in the north, but also right across MRJ, and now having the wonder to work with as well for LJ, who has really been leading with our communities to ensure people did feel engaged and up to date and have taken us on the journey. So a big thank you to Sarita. And also I've seen Marsha online, who has really just is one of our staff who really makes sure that the day-to-day keeps ticking over and that actually we're able to do this. So thank you to both of you. And coming to another person who really makes sure that our communities are represented and seen, Laura.
Hi, everybody, and just wanted to be a tiny part of saying Mazel Tov to you both particularly. You've done an amazing job, and to Simon, who I work with a lot, and I know how much work he's put into this. But to say, I think, it's been a long haul bringing these two movements together. It's not been quick, and I'm just delighted that now that can all be put behind us, and actually, we're in a very broken world. And the more that we can do now together and collectively to deal with that broken world, I think it gives us a great opportunity now that that's all done, and put any divisions behind us and move forwards together. I'm just delighted. So well done.
Thank you so much, Laura. That's really great. We're just sort of scanning the screens. We also want to acknowledge that Graham is here. Graham, who's also part of our comms team, and also Gary, who is one of those people who makes what we do possible without always being in the spotlight. But Gary, without whom none of the IT in this building or the IT of the last of the EGMs this morning would have worked. We also saw on the screen some of our teachers and some of our more experienced colleagues. It's very unusual that Jonathan Maganat comes to one of these things. Jonathan was the principal of Leobet College who admitted both of us back in the day. So we hope that he thinks of this as his achievement as well as ours, because without him, I think so many of the people on this screen would not be committed to progressive Jewish life. We are going to go to Blackpool, where Rachel is.
Hi,
Marvellous.
Rachel.
Hi, everybody. Mazel tov. I just wanted to come on and say, from a very small community to feeling part of such a huge decision and a huge movement going forward, and also just how small, we keep talking about these screens, and the fact that since we have gone Zoom wide, how inclusive it has become, that people aren't having to travel down south, and the north has been made to be much more a part of all the communities. And I think obviously Edinburgh, all these people from all over the country just coming together in this way and being able to speak and just be together is just such an incredible experience. And I just wanted to thank you, and especially Simon and all the tech team, because I know how difficult it all is, but it's such a wonderful resource that we now have, and we just need to keep using and using and using it. So thank you, everybody.
And I want to thank Rachel, because it's Rachel and the work that she does, which means that not just progressive Jewish life, but actually all Jewish life manages to survive and flourish in a town like Blackpool. One of our purposes in the world as progressive Jews is to make sure that there is Jewish life wherever Jews live in the UK. And but it is people like Rachel and everything that she and her family do that means that the Blackpool Jewish community is able to continue and survive and thrive. So thank you to you, because I'm sure you're not thanked enough.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You've got me started now.
John Kay in Harlow.
Hello, good afternoon. I live in an area now where there isn't, a huge choice of shuls, and that's fair enough. But when I lived in other areas where you had a reform and a liberal shul, what I quite like doing is go to both over a period of time, one that you actually enjoyed the service and the other one you wouldn't be seen dead in. And I just hope that we don't, all become exactly the same, and that divergence between some of those communities where you do have more than one progressive shul continues.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Can I just want to share something that John sent to us a few weeks ago, which was John was trying very hard to get his community to engage and be really involved in the question. He sent a little note that said, "I'm trying very hard, but the only person who really seems to be very interested in this is the Dean of Harlow." So, which was very funny for us because, of course, actually the wider faith world is also watching this, because this is a very micro thing that matters to us in our communities. It's also a really macro thing that is a message to the wider faith world about how you work in collaboration, and is it possible to work in unity with people who've, for a century not been your partner. Thank you to John for reminding us of that greater reach that we have as well.
And I think also, if there is a certain amount of indifference within the Jewish community, it's not that they're against it. There's, go ahead. It doesn't.
It's a movement is a niche interest, we always say.
Exactly.
So, yeah, exactly.
But there are certain people for whom this was not a niche interest, but actually something that took up their sort of waking breath and an inordinate amount of their time. And that was our advisory board, who really sat alongside both boards of Reform Judaism and Liberal Judaism and have supported us every step of the way. And that's our advisory board, led very ably by Ed Kessler. And one who was really at the heart of that advisory board with all matters of governance and way beyond is very wonderful Sue. Sue, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I just wanted to say it's been an extraordinary journey, and listening to the comments that people are making now have made it so worthwhile as we laboured over words, individual words coming together. It was all about words, establishing principles and then going on from there. So it's been 2 years of sort of thinking, can we make this happen? And it has happened, and that's thanks, as you say, in the main to both of you, but also to Ed to a great degree, and to Paul and to Karen. And it is a privilege, a real privilege, to be part of, the history of progressive Judaism in the UK. It's a very important step that we've taken. So, Mazel Tov, and I'll talk to you both tomorrow.
Thank you, Sue. I am just seen a message from Judy Herman in the chat, and standing here in the room of prayer, it seems like a really important and appropriate time to honour Stephen Herman of blessed memory, Judy's beloved husband, who was the chair of Leo Beck College and believed so wholeheartedly in the possibility of what would happen if the ecosystem of progressive Judaism really was fulfilled. And it's for his memory, and I know, having been with his one of his grandchildren on camp this year, that it's not just his memory in abstract in this room, but really the next generations that go on to carry that memory. So thank you, Judy, for really reminding us of that as we stand here in Leo Beck College.
And of course, he was one of many people for whom this was a vision that they had that they did not get to see realized. I know that lots of people will be thinking of Simon Bencher, that we recently lost, Bob and Anne Kirk, who, when we first announced this, Bob said, "Can you make sure you get it done while I'm still alive?" We weren't able to do that. But Bob, I know, would be very proud that this were happening. I think I saw Dorothy Sefton Green on the screen. Her husband Marcus was so committed to making this happen the last time it was tried, as were people like Jerome Crett. And there are lots of people on whose shoulders we stand in being able to do this. And to some extent, these things happen in their time, but we are very aware of the fact that they are that we're standing on their shoulders, very much so. We thought it might be helpful just to share a little bit about what's going to happen next, because, as we said, this is a moment in a process of a journey that we will be going on together. So over the course of the next couple of weeks. What will happen is that we will incorporate a new entity. That new entity will be called the Movement for Progressive Judaism. We will then begin the process of making it, populating it, filling it with Jewish life, building it, designing it, working out its priorities. Some of that will be very technical. Rochelle is on screen. She's going to guide us through the process of 2Ping our staff. Alison, I think, was on screen. Alison is going to guide us through the process of registering with the HMRC and setting up new bank accounts.
And the other Alison helping us archive this moment.
And but a lot of the process is also going to be about building something with real vision and excitement, and all the clergy colleagues who will be on the screen who will help us to do that, but also lay people as well. One of the very first things that will happen is that there will be a nominations committee set up. And that nominations committee will be building the very first board of the new Movement for Progressive Judaism. And so there are lots of people on the screen who have already sort of served their communities a lot, some who feel they've really done their time, lots of former board members of LJ and MRJ and RSGB and ULPS and those that came before. But we are also looking for the very, very best of progressive Judaism in this country to be part of that journey with us. So an email will be going out in the next couple of weeks, inviting people either to join the nominations committee or to join to put themselves forward to the nominations committee, so that this really is an opportunity for us to build progressive Judaism together. So we very much hope that people will step into that with us. The goal is that by the 1st of January 2026, we will be in a position for MPJ to be the movement for all of us. That is, that we will have transferred all of the assets, liabilities, and activities of MRJ and LJ into MPJ. And each of our communities will have chosen to become one of the founder members of this new movement. We hope it will be as thriving and full a movement as possible. So we are very excited. There's a huge amount of work still to do, but we're very excited that we get the opportunity to do this together.
Yes, so we asked you whether you would bring some paper and a marker. We just wanted to capture a visible moment. So all you need to do is to write on there a couple of words, whatever you want, a few words that people can see, and your name and your community, and we'll try and capture as many of our screens with those words on as possible. And just another marker in our history books. I can see both Josh and my dad on screen, and just as an opportunity to say thank you to our families, because they have put up with not seeing us very much. We really appreciate how much support and love you have given to Judaism's future as well. So thank you, William, and thank you, Julian. We appreciate you, and the rest of our families, obviously. Put a short message, a couple of words, because it has to be readable, and your name and your community, and hold it up to the screen when after the count of 3. Ready? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Amazing. And we will try and share as many of them as possible. Have a look around your screens. L'ador vador.
Excited for a new era and a new voice. Oh, thank you, Michael. Your message in the chat. Jewish UK
Thank
history.
you. Lovely.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you. Wonderful. Okay, everyone. There'll be lots of opportunities over the next 6 months and beyond to continue to be together. We will continue with our open houses.
When is our next ordinary open house?
It's the Simon.
Thursday, the 12th of June.
Okay, so that's our next ordinary open house. We would love to see as many people there as possible. So open house for the last few months has all been about this project, but actually open house is also an opportunity for us to share and to celebrate and to commiserate and to learn and to grapple together. And it's a really wonderful space. So it's open to anyone from any community across the country. We were with someone from the Church of England who's asked if she can come to open houses because she's heard so much about them, which was unexpected but lovely. So please do come and join us for the open house. If you're not on the newsletter, but if you don't get the newsletter, or if someone you know doesn't get the newsletter, then please let them know so that we can make sure everyone has all of the information as Progressive Jewish Life goes onwards and upwards and continues to flourish. But thank you. Should we say Shechianu one last time together? We can invite everybody to unmute so that we can say a really messy, diverse, multi-voiced Shechianu all together. Baruch Thanks for being with us this afternoon.
Watch your
Really, thank you so much.